Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, so if you listened to yesterday's episode, then yeah, you probably heard where I was talking about toxic gamers because, man, when I tell you guys the amount of times I've experienced toxic gamers, people just trying to overall ruin the experience for you, keeping you from having a good time in whatever video game. Like, that's the crazy thing about it. In racing games, in shooting games, and I'm trying to think of some other games out there. I'm saying, like, at times it's just not developers, the gamers. Hold on, I did so many episodes talking on developers. I'm like, yeah, there be at times where developers be trying to ruin the experience too, but nah, man, gamers, they almost is worse. Like, it's one of those things where I can think back on playing Call of Duty back during the Xbox 360 era and having it where people were like, you'll be in the corner or something, like doing whatever, or some you just maybe trying to, like, because for me, I wasn't a camper. Like, if I went into a corner, people might have thought I was camping, but no, I could have been like trying to like go and run and do something real quick, or I needed to check my phone for something. But I was like, and I just ain't gonna leave myself out in the open and things, but I get right back out to like running around and stuff. But no, overall though, you'll be in a corner. Somebody will run into the same corner that you're in and keep you from going anywhere. So it's like you really have no other choice but to leave the game. And then it's like, yeah, because they'll do that the whole game. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, man, can somebody please like run over here and kill us both so at least I can like yeah, I'll take the kill and so or I'll take the death. But I'm like, can I go and like, can somebody please just do that? Because I'm like, man, it's crazy when people do stuff like that. But I could think back then people would do that type of stuff, and I'm like, why are you doing that? You paid $60 just to keep somebody from running around. No, no, no. On top of the $60, like let's just sit down and think about this, right? If you're an adult, if you're a grown adult, I imagine that you're living out on your own, correct? Correct. So, anyways, you're paying for electricity. You're paying for the rent or the mortgage or wherever you live at. But overall, you're paying for, the internet to be active and stuff. It's like we add all that up. That's going to be some money. Then you went out and you got yourself an Xbox 360. That's probably at that time being about like almost $400, depending on what you bought. So if you get one of them bundled ones, yeah, it probably was over 400. But anyways, $300 Xbox, $60 video game. I'm trying to think. $59.99. I think that's how much Xbox Live Gold was back in the day. Like, yeah, you were spending half of what you were spending now for like a year's supply of Xbox Live and stuff. But anyways, $60 Xbox Live Gold just to go and play this game and keep somebody from running around in the game and stuff, or just keep them off in the corner. And I'm like, bro, people, they did stuff like that. And I'm like, and I have to say, I think like it was things like that that made me appreciate single player games more. Cause I'm like, I ain't got to worry about nobody in no single player game. And so I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Okay, it's the multiplayer games. I ain't going to fool around with them. I'll start playing co-op games. So at that time being when I had my Xbox 360, probably the most funnest co-op game that I can think of that I was playing a lot of was Destiny. Payday, don't get me wrong, Payday 2, that was a really good game. I remember buying that on the Xbox 360. But no, man, Destiny, when that game came out, I was like, nah, this is a game changer. This game's amazing, bro. So anyways, usually I would play that game with my friends. I remember, like, I think right before Destiny 2 got announced and it was being talked about and all that stuff, me and my friends, like, we was playing that game day and night. Like, guys, it was one of those things, we'll be up, like, probably about, like, 3, 4 in the morning playing Destiny, just grinding, just getting all these different gear, weapons, all that stuff. So, anyways, Destiny, but no, there was at times though, because it was one of my friends that was he was a year younger than me, so he was still in school. I had graduated and I was just kind of enjoying my time, like not being in school and stuff. I'm like, I got all this free time, I'm enjoying life. It's like this is cool, this is fun, this is dope and things. But anyways, but yeah, so there would be days where he couldn't play because he's like at school and stuff doing his things. And then my other friend, I remember, like, because it was was the three of us where we always would play. So one was in school, one had worked at GameStops, and I pretty much was just at home just chilling and things. Like I was thinking about enlisting into I think I've talked on that. I was going to enlist in the military, so I was kind of looking into that and stuff. And I was all like that, gave up on that. And then I did start kind of looking for jobs, and then that's when I had found myself being a full-time content creator and stuff. It's crazy to think that, hold on for a second. Let me check my gaming channel real quick. I gotta check and see. No, it's still, all right, hold on for a second. I just want to check and see when I created my gaming channel. So tomorrow, so April 9th, 2015. So yeah, but it'll be tomorrow. It'll be officially 10 years since I've became a full-time content creator. So just, gonna probably end up celebrating that for a little bit and things. But anyways, but no, overall though, so they will be, kind of just doing their things. I'm at home playing Destiny and stuff, grinding, trying to get more weapons, gear, all that stuff. So Destiny has these missions on there called strike missions where it's required to play with other people and stuff. So I was like, all right, cool, no biggie, no problem. So I was like, I never had no bad experiences playing with people in that game up until I figured out what AFK meant, So overall, I was dealing with some AFK teammates in Destiny, and I'm like, I don't know how you can be a toxic gamer in a co-op game where you're not doing any things to anybody, but eventually while playing that game, I did figure it out, and I'm like, bro, so anyways, for those that don't know what AFK means, it's when a person is just not active in the game. They're not playing it. I don't know what exactly it stands for though. Hold on for it. And it's probably something that most people would know. AFK meaning in game. Let me just see real quick. Away from keep. Well, it should have been like AFC. Because AFC. No, that's AFV. No, never mind. I was like, there's too many AFs, and then following up with some other letter and stuff. But no. But anyways, regardless, I remember there was a time where I'm playing the game, and the guy was just he was just off in the corner, just doing whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, why is he not playing the game? Like, what is his problem? Like, bro, you turn your game on to not play it? What sense does that even make? So I started paying attention because it wasn't like it was just a one-time thing. Like, I was seeing a lot of different people do this, and it started to irritate me because I'm like, fam, we're struggling with this mission. Like, you could help us right now. You just sitting there not doing nothing and things. I'm like, that just doesn't even make any sense. You turn the game on to not play it. I don't get that. That's one thing for sure, that I have never purchased a video game to not play it. I just turned the game. Even games where I knew that I wasn't going to really play a whole lot of it, I still did something within that game. So, no, the one time I do remember where somebody had did that. They went AFK in the game. So I'm thinking, okay, like, I'm not believing in that stuff where they're just away from their, their TV or whatever, and they just got the game on. I refuse to believe that. So I messaged the guy, and I'm like, hey, look, play the game, bro. Stop standing off in the corner. He messages me back. So I knew that he wasn't no AFK. This guy messages me back, and he says, he was like, I turned the game on just because I wanted to get the XP. And I'm thinking to myself, play the game and you can get XP. That just doesn't even make, you're just trying to get XP for doing the strikes and the missions and stuff. Or yeah, just the strike missions, but you're not playing the game. And I'm supposed to be okay with that. So no, that's what I did. So, because that's with those strike missions, it takes 3 people to play a strike mission. So I messaged the other guy and I said, hey, stop playing the game. I was like, no, let's just stand off in the corner. We won't progress. We won't do nothing. And sure enough, the guy did. So he was all like, he seen that the other guy was AFK. And so no, me and the guy, we just went, we also went AFK. I'm like, we all gonna be AFK in this game. Because that just doesn't even make any sense to me. You turn the game on to not play it. And I'm supposed to be like, oh yeah, that's normal. So I was like, nah, bruh. That's why I'm like, at times, even when it's a co-op video game, I'm like, can I just play that entire game by myself? So that's why I would say that I was a big fan of the video game, The Division, because it's like, you could have played that entire game by yourself. And that's why I'm all like, man, it's the one thing I'm like, I appreciate it so much about that game. There ain't too many games that do stuff like that, but I'm like, they did. And I'm like, cool, dope. I ain't even got to worry about people in that game and stuff. But anyways, but yeah, overall, the guy he did, for those wondering, yeah, the guy he did start playing the game. And I'm like, yeah, that's stupid. I'm like, that doesn't even make any sense. You turn the game on to not play it. I was like, nah, bro, that's dumb. I know people will probably get on me for doing that all like, you should just let him get the egg. And no, the thing is this. I don't care if the game was free. You play a game if you turn the game on. If not, leave and let somebody that does actually want to play the game join our game so we could get through this mission a lot faster. But I'm not going to have it where you just going out doing your thing. It requires 3 people to play the game. I'm like, that just doesn't even make any sense to me. So, yeah, I was all like, and then if any other time when I see people do that, I would just leave. I'm like, I'm not going to sit in the game. You gone AFK. Because I think I did that in Destiny 2. Somebody tried pulling that crap. And I think I had left. I was all like, I had to go back in because I'm trying to think, was it a video or was it? I think it was a stream and somebody did that crap, and I'm all like, I ain't gonna fool around with them. I'm like, they want to go AFK in the game, you go right ahead, but I'm like, I ain't fooling around with you, bro. They need to, no, that's what they need to do. When they see, because if I were to come out with a video game and somebody reports the individual for going AFK and not playing the game, is one thing. If like, yeah, if something came up and then it's like, okay, then it's like, if nobody, but no, I've stuff like that. It should get reported when the person goes AFK. And then if I was a video game developer, if they report it and then I see, because I definitely be all like, oh, you record it and stuff, so at least I can see what they were doing and things. Because I mean, it like anybody, I ain't seen where people done like those fake reports and stuff. And so that's why I'm like, like record it and show it to me, and I'll do like some investigation or something. And as soon as I see that the person is gone AFK, then I'm like, no, I'm taking away the XP and I'm banning you from the game for a week. I might not get a whole lot of people, but you know what? That's who would be playing the game. People that actually play it, not people that are just turning the game on, going AFK just so they could get some easy XP and stuff. And I'm like, nah, that's stupid, man. But anyways, but yeah, overall, people were doing that, so I had to say at that point, that's when I was all like, no, let me just go ahead and find some single player games, because throughout the years, and even I just remember playing Grand Theft Auto 5, having it where I'm playing racing, and I'm saying like, at first I didn't mind it too much, but then it just got to a point where I'm like, I don't even know why I'm being chased. I don't know why a tank just blew me up as I was leaving my apartment, or that Los Santos Customs. What are some other things in that game? Like, I don't know why people feel the need to do something crazy, or and I'm like, fam, can I just play this game in peace? So eventually, I remember with Grand Theft Auto 5, I started playing the invite only section and stuff, because I'm like, no, is people out there just ruining the experience and stuff. I'm like, I don't want to play this game if people are gonna be carrying on like that. So I was all like, I remember I'd start doing that in Grand Theft Auto. And then eventually it just got to a point where I was all like, no, I'd like playing single player games. Like, there was a point in time where I was like, I'll have to say I had lost a little bit of skill of playing PvP games, but I mean, it's like, it's still there. It's just that I'm not as good as I used to be and stuff. So but I think it has a lot to do with the fact that I just don't be sitting down playing games for hours upon hours and stuff. Like, I have to say, last time I did that was when I was playing this game with a group of some friends. And it was Lethal Company. And I'm like, that was probably the one and only time where I put more than 3 hours into one video game and stuff in just one single session and things. So, but overall though, I'm like, but yeah, as I play games now, I'm like, man, I try to do any and everything in my power to try to see if that game has a offline mode or a PvE mode and stuff. And the crazy thing is that, so there's the one game where it's like, perfect. You know what? No, there's 2 games. I'm like, Payday 2 and then Helldivers 2. So anyways, talking on my experience playing that game, so that's a game where you can't it's a PvE game, you can't do anything to your teammates and stuff in there. And I'm like, and I would have to say, that's probably where it's like, I wish that games in that settings, they had like AI teammates, so I ain't got to worry about playing it with no actual people. Because the amount of times, I just remember the one time playing Payday 2, the guy, he's trying to open up every single deposit box in the bank, and I'm thinking to myself, fam, do you know how many deposit boxes are in that room? Why are you trying to open up every single one? they ended up, because no, it was funny because it was, so that's a game that requires 4 people. 3 of them had died and only one survived. And guess who survived? Me. Because I wasn't going to go in there and try to open up every single. I'm like, we're playing this game on the highest difficulty, which means we are going to most likely get paid millions of dollars, if not probably just $1 million. But we're going to be okay. Why are you guys trying to open up every single deposit box when we have... It was like the police department, the SWAT team, Navy SEALs, U.S. Marines. Like, there are so many people outside, and they're trying to open up every single deposit box. And I'm like, yeah, I remember I went back to the van, and I was all like, no, I'm not going back. And it was funny because they started plugging in their mics talking about, come back and help us. I'm like, there is a whole army, if not the whole world is outside trying to kill you guys. I'm not going back there so we can all fail this. I'm getting my XP. I'm getting my money because it was set up that way. And then it was funny because like then people, they'll get upset and then they'll kick you out of the game. And I was like, I wish that was a feature that wasn't in the game, because people, they'll get mad if you're like heavily armored and it's like, okay, we're playing this on the highest difficulty. We're going to most likely get shot at by police officers. Why would I go in there in just a business suit and no full body armor? I'm like, I mean, you guys sit down and think about that. So yeah, I do like the fact that in Payday 3, they do have it where it's a little bit more solo, single player friendly and stuff. Cause yeah, and I like one game where I wish they did have that is Helldivers 2, where I wish they had a single player or like an AI teammate mode, because there's at times you got people in there, they want to shoot you. They want to punch you off some mountain. They want to just overall ruin the experience. And I'm like, fam, this is why I don't like playing the game with people. Because I'm like, you got it at times where people, they're just not playing the game correctly. And yeah, that's a game where you can play it by yourself, but it's difficult to play it by yourself unless you're playing it on the easiest difficulty. If not that, you're going to most likely struggle a little bit playing that game by yourself. So that's why I'm like, man, you know, I just wish that games, it was just a little bit more single player friendly. But the amount of times I've dealt with toxic players and people be wondering like, oh, why do you like playing single player games? Because all the stuff that I talked about in this podcast episode, that's why I like playing single player games, because you just got at times people, they don't play the game correctly, and then they be wondering why they be getting reported or people don't want to play games with them anymore. So yeah, overall, my advice out there, it's like, if you're a toxic gamer, just turn the game off, bro. It's like, you just gonna be turning that. It's one game where I'm like, I refuse to play. Well, not so much as I refuse. I just wish that they would add a PvE mode, so at least then I ain't gotta worry about, and like, yeah, if the NPCs kill me, then it's whatever. But other people, so there's this one video game called EVE Online. It's this free game. But anyway, so you'll go to, like, because it's this space game, so you'll go to some, like, sector, some area in space, where people will camp out there, wait for you to show up and kill you. And they'll either do it just to get the, I don't even know if you do get XP for killing another. I imagine you might get something, if not that. They're just killing you for the sport of it. Like, somebody had told me that there's people in there that just kill you just for the sport, you know, but, or they're doing it to loot you and stuff. And I'm like, man, and that's why I'm like, man, there's a lot of different developers. I'm like, you guys got to add like PvE or single player, just, you know, just have it where it's like single or solo player friendly, because there's a lot of games out there that don't do that, and then they do, but then they have it where the game is crazy difficult to where it's like it's gonna take you a while to play it and stuff, or at least to get through a mission and things. But anyways, yeah, I'm like, there's just a lot of games out there that need to be worked on, and I'm like, yeah, with the single and solo player stuff, I'm like, you definitely need to add that in this day and age. Yeah, you need to add that, because it ain't no different. Toxic gamers ain't no different. Then I have to say, they ain't got more creative with them being toxic than how it was back then. So anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.